This podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with a mental health professional. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise Brown, and my brother,
Stephen James Dixon. Tell them people to sign up and subscribe right now. Hit that little ding thing, whatever.
I know that's right. So, hey, guys, please, you see this little bell up here? On your computer, there's a bell. It says subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. Like it and share it. Share it with all the people that you love. Share it with the people that you don't love. Just share. And if you feel inclined, if you feel froggy, why don't you jump and put a little comment down there? Tell us what you think about this series that we're doing for men, because this is a safe space for men to heal. Hey, Stephen.
What up? You tell them that you answer questions too, right? The questions that people post on the...
I do, yeah. And I want us to start off with a couple of questions.
Okay,
before we get into what we hungry for this week.
All right.
Okay, all right. So first, and just in case people are under a rock, I'm going to reintroduce you again.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho. That's right. You from New Jersey. You know that.
Absolutely. Okay, so I am sitting with my co-host, Stephen James Dixon. I don't know why I read this every time, right? I should just know it by heart, but I don't want to mess it up. Okay, here we go. Stephen James Dixon, a husband, a father, a relationship expert, and author of the books Men Don't Heal, We Ho. It's a book about the emotional instability of men. And the second book is Love Capacity. Is that it?
That's it. It's not out yet.
Okay.
It's done. You might have to make me. You one of the people that'll make me put it out.
I will make you put it out.
You one of those I can tell already.
It's coming.
Like, put that book out.
Love Capacity is coming.
Yeah, you can go to lovecapacity.com and take your Love Capacity quiz.
Okay. I like it. Let me just tell y'all a little bit more. So Stephen has been featured live on TV and radio across the country and as far away as Europe and Africa. Okay, so this is our brother, and he has partnered with me in creating this safe space for men to heal. And today we're going to talk about our topic is I am hungry for security, because we notice that a lot of our men out here, and it doesn't matter how young you are, how middle-aged you are, or how old you are, you're walking around feeling insecure about certain things, or maybe have some insecurities. And we're going to say that that's normal.
Yeah.
Women do too, but we're not talking about women right now. We're talking about you men, because we're here to help you men. Now, before we get into security, Stephen, right? No, listen.
What we got?
I have a couple of questions that I got. Okay, from
listeners,
some listeners. There you go, and some watchers. Okay, that have watched the podcast. So now, and I want us to answer them. Okay,
so you get a question, be like, "Ooh, we're going to talk about that on the podcast."
Yeah.
You did all up? Okay.
Well, no, but this is the thing. They watched it. So, okay, there was someone who called me up and they said that we never answered a question. I put it out there and we didn't answer the question. Okay.
They paying attention too closely.
No, they I love it. It's just right. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, so I asked you, this was on the first week when we were talking about I'm hungry for love. And I asked you the question about can you love yourself? Because that's what we kind of talked about, is you're hungry for love for coming from the outside, but that starts with you actually loving and giving it to yourself, because you can't control what anybody does on the outside. So you have to give it to yourself. But now in doing so, we were talking about a little bit about infidelity, or we were talking about maladaptive coping skills, right? And so, and we were talking about commitments, right? Loving yourself and having these commitments that we have in life. And so the question that I had asked you was, can you love yourself as a man and violate your commitment? And when I say violate your commitment, I'm talking about your commitment. I think I was saying specifically about infidelity. So you made a commitment in this in a monogamous relationship, and when you was feeling some kind of way, some kind of insecurity, or maybe you didn't use your voice, and you decided to go get you a little distractor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many, right?
6 a good amount.
6, okay. And so you went outside of the relationship, right? You got a distractor. You took an exit instead of going back in to confront your stuff and fix your stuff, okay? All right, whatever, it happens. So now, can a man love himself and violate his commitment to this monogamous relationship?
Yes. It's tough.
Wait, hold on.
I knew you was going to be surprised on that one.
And I'm going to tell you why I'm surprised, but go ahead. Okay, so you said a man can love himself and violate his commitment.
What I've learned, probably 20 years ago, I would have said no, honestly. But what I've learned through working with couples, talking across the country, all the places and all that, churches and all that, is that people cheat for different reasons.
Okay.
And sometimes we label the cheaters, we just all put them over here, like all those are cheaters over there. And I had to start learning that, okay, there are some people that are cheaters, meaning they cheat multiple times. It doesn't matter where they are, what they're doing, who they're with. Really, their commitment doesn't matter. Those men don't love themselves.
Okay.
They don't care about anything but having sex. That's all they care about. Those men are there. Yes,
okay, so there is a community of men. There's some men who don't honor their commitments because they don't love themselves. They don't even know who they are.
They don't spend no time with themselves.
Okay.
They only are looking for the next piece of woman that they can acquire.
Gotcha.
But there are good men and women who've cheated out of a lack of what's happening at home, what's happening in their marriage, feeling like they've communicated. I remember there's a gospel artist. Should I say his name? Yeah, he's public with it. Ty Tribute.
Okay.
He said one time he was caught up in a cheat. He's a gospel artist.
Okay.
Look him up. You've heard of him, I'm sure. Yeah, he's from East Coast too, I think. Maybe Detroit. And he said that in high school, he was never the guy that attracted women. And then when he became a celebrity, women threw themselves at him and he couldn't handle it. He said he wasn't prepared for the most beautiful, gorgeous woman to walk up to him and just offer it to him. Whereas in high school, women wouldn't talk to him.
Gotcha.
He said he just was not prepared. And I remember something similar like that happened in my life one time when I first started with my book, running around the country and all that kind of stuff. I was doing book signings and all these things. And women would be in my face and I would tell a joke and my wife would be like, that woman laughed too hard at your joke. Your joke was not that funny. And I was like, you're tripping. What are you talking about? Like it took me a while to really say, oh, these women are attracted to the fame and the power and the money.
Okay.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
That people get caught up into.
Okay.
So we can't just say all men are like this and all cheaters are like this. There's different men, different cheaters, different scenarios. Can you love? And Ty was very apologetic, hurtful, hurt his wife, hurt his family, said he has the tools now.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's missed too. A lot of times, a lot of men get married without having that tool of knowing how to say no or how to entertain themselves, spend time with themselves. And so as soon as someone throw it in their face, they just had an argument with the wife earlier. Now they out here in these streets doing what they're not supposed to be doing because they don't know how to manage that. Hopefully they're learning some of these things on Mental Health as a Lifestyle podcast.
Right.
How do we manage when we're frustrated or confused?
That's right. Right. Which first goes back to assessing how do I feel?
Yes.
And then once I assess how I feel, right, then I own how I feel and I deal with those feelings. And if the feeling is connected to the person in the relationship, I go back there to fix it. Because when I take exits, right, like the women and collecting this or the money or the drugs or the alcohol, when I take those exits, right? To try to numb whatever that feeling is, then what that does is really it ruins my relationship eventually.
Eventually,
Yeah.
for sure.
But and yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and yourself. And so that is the question. So okay, so what you were saying was with your example, you said that there are some good men out here
Yes.
who have cheated. I think that was your point.
Yep.
Right. But okay, that's your point.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't talking about good men because yeah, there are good men who cheat, right? Cheat is really being unfaithful is about a bad choice, right? A maladaptive decision that was made, right? So I get that. And your choices are not who you are unless you choose for them to be that, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. But I'm saying, can you love yourself? So being good and loving yourself, right, is two different things. So can you love yourself and violate your commitment?
I think that when I heard Ty Tribbett talk about it, I think he was a man that would say he loved himself.
Okay.
Like I like loving yourself and having a skill set to combat emotional issues are two different things.
Yes.
You talk with people all the time, right?
That's good.
That are confused. How many people come into your office and they're just a delicate flower that being taken advantage of? You know, my husband is cheating on me all the time. Why you keep going back? It's because they don't know what to do. And so they come to you to get advice or whatever, or seek their friendship. And so it's people out there that are lost. And that's why I say 20 years ago, I would have said, I immediately said no. But over time of doing relationship coaching for so many years, I've run into so many good people who've made mistakes.
Got you.
I especially remember times when I tried to challenge women to hold their partners accountable. Accountability is important. If you cannot hold your partner accountable, you cannot be married because that's important. Like that's a part of keeping the marriage balanced. Like I need to know, I need to know my wife expects me to come home tonight. As good as I am or whatever, if I thought I could just stay out all night, there's going to be a night where I stay out all night. Might not be tonight, might not be next month, maybe it's 2-3 years from now, whatever. But I know there's no repercussions. There's no accountability. I can do whatever I want. Okay, at some point, all of us, our natural instinct kicks in and we just do what we want for that one night or whatever, right? And so it's just different people. So one of the questions I ask people a lot of times when I come in and they have a relationship with someone who's cheated, I want to know, are you a cheater or did you cheat? Right? If you're a cheater, that's what you do. That's who you are. You're not trying to get no better. You just, you're not trying to find those tools that you need to make sure that when you need something else or you feel like you're not being heard, that you don't just run out. Right? And so we can say that's an excuse to some degree, but there are real people out there that don't know what to do or don't know how to handle. People are flawed.
Right.
Speak on it. Share what you think.
Yeah. So, I do believe that you can love yourself and still violate your commitments too. So I say, yeah. But I think I say, yeah, for a different reason. So you can love yourself, right? But not respect yourself.
Okay.
Got me? You cannot hold yourself in high regard. You can feel, have a loss of worthiness because I will say this. Now, this is what I will say is if you knew your worth, then you will not dishonor your commitments. When you know your worth, then you hold yourself in high regard. Then that means that everything that you do in life is going to be held in high regard because of how you see yourself. So if I make commitments, if I feel worthy and I make commitments, then I am going to honor all of my commitments just because of how I see myself. But now I can love myself and not really hold myself in high regard. It's two different things. So I can love myself and yeah, of course, dishonor my commitments. So an example would be if I had a friend and, let's say this, if it was my mama, let me use my mama.
Almost had it.
There you go. So if it was my mama, because I love my mama and I hold my mama in high regard. So if I make a commitment to my mother, who I hold in high regard, then if it's hell or hot water, I'm going to make sure that I do not violate that commitment because of how I see her and how I feel about her. And she doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just because of my regard for her. You got me? If I had a friend, right? And I loved my friend. I could love my friend, but I know that my friend is dirty. Like, I know that my friend is flaky. Like, I know that my friend doesn't even honor herself. Like, I know my friend's shady. So I may not hold my friend in high regard. So am I really gonna respect my commitment to her when I know she don't even expect commitments to herself? She doesn't hold her. So for her, I mean, I could commit to it, but I know she ain't even gonna do it. So I'm not going to really hold to the commitment. Right. But if I held her in high regard, if I respected her, then therefore, if I commit to doing something, I know who she is, I know how I hold her, and I'm going to make sure that I stand true to that commitment. Same thing for myself. If I feel unworthy, so let's go back to the guy, if I feel like I'm a cheater, because this is just something that I learned to do, which means I really don't, like, if that's a skill that I use daily, then I'm so disconnected from who I truly am, like from who God created me to be. Like I'm just disconnected from, me being a king of high honor. So that means I act out in any way. I'm just disrespectful to women. I'm disrespectful to people because of how I see myself. But when I see myself as something real special, then I'm only going to do special things. You got me? And I will honor the commitments that I make to myself because I know I'm worthy of it, if that makes any sense. So I think love is one thing. So I can love myself and then see myself as a sack of potatoes and not honor my commitment. But if I hold myself in high regard, you know what I'm saying? If I know that I am miraculous, if I know that I'm a child of God, if I know that I can create anything in life, then anything that I do and I think of, I'm just going to hold that in high regard.
I think this is a great subject because I think woman is taught her worth early. You're told that you're valuable. Mama told you. Mama told you you're valuable, baby. Don't give it away to everybody, blah, blah, blah. You're valuable. We've seen the movies where they told it just in the mirror. What was that movie? Like, you're beautiful, you're amazing, like uplifting and things like that. Men really get to that value later. Right? We don't have that kind of regard for ourselves. We're just a guy walking around.
Very good.
Right. And so we don't, so when someone, like I said with Ty, like when someone presents something to him and then he says, oh, I'm valuable now.
Oh, that's good.
And so that's the first time he becomes valuable.
That's good.
Then those things that you're talking about begin to kick in.
That's good.
But before that, we're just a guy running around. And so for me, I really want to make sure I'm pointing out the skill set. So some men don't have that ability. I'm not giving it as an excuse.
I understand.
I'm just explaining it. Right. That's for women out there who didn't have their man cheat on them or whatever. I'm not giving an excuse.
That's
you cheat, you got to pay, whatever you got to do, whatever. But some men are not prepared for that. Some men are like, we talk about emotions all the time. Come in, Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast. Listen, get tools, get skills, learn how to manage your frustration, your anger, your disappointment. These are all tools and skills that we don't start even entertaining how to do any of this stuff until maybe we through college or something.
Yeah, no, that's so good for men and women, right? And this goes back to, we're talking about how men and women are raised in a household, right? Yes. And I got you saying, which I know that, a lot of times our women, because we said a lot of times, I know what research shows is that women, moms, are the primary caretakers of the children. So a lot of times fathers are absent. And then even when they are in the household working, they're still absent, if maybe they're at work or whatever. And so women, mothers, don't really know how to raise boys to be secure men. They don't know how to do it. So I could agree with you. And a lot of men don't. Right. Not saying all men don't. And I'm not saying all women don't, but most women don't, know how to raise a young boy to be a secure man. So I could see where men would be moving through the world, as we say, trying to figure out and learning what society tells them makes them confident, makes them strong, makes them appear to be successful. And we're talking about insecurity, right? So they're really walking around insecure, yet and still society has told them, well, this is how you earn your security, is by collecting, as you would say, women, right? By driving this certain car. Like, this is your security backpack right here. Like, the whole thing is here. Is by having a job that pays you 6 figures or more. Like, this is what makes you a man. This is what makes you secure. This is what should make you confident. Like, yeah, this is what makes you a winner.
See, you're not even privy, because you're not a man. You're not privy to the development and the growth. So 8th grade, my homeboy's like, did you feel on her booty? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, like, I hear you.
Meanwhile, y'all being told, don't let no man touch on you. You valuable. You got assets, blah, blah, blah. We all around. There's no one else to give us any positive feedback or to tell us the right thing to do and things like that. We got our group of guys. 73% of children are born with men out of the household.
That's right.
Did you feel on her booty? 8th grade. 10th grade, did you have sex with her? 12th grade, how many did you have sex with? College, why would you have a girlfriend? After college, who gets married? That's ridiculous.
This is
and
good.
So it's all, a process. And then once you become an adult, a man, and you've lived and seen the world, you say, you know what? I'd like to be with one woman. My hope is that you arrive at that point, but we have to arrive there. Y'all are taught the path how to get there. The greatest tragedy to man is to not have witnessed a man love a woman when he was a boy. Let me say it again. The greatest tragedy to man is to not have witnessed a man love a woman when he was a boy. My 17-year-old son knows that I love his mother.
Gotcha.
That aids him. That's going to help him. He's going to arrive there faster. Because I never saw a man love a woman until I was, in my 20s or something like that. My son knows. He knows right now that I love his mother and I'll kill everybody over her. He knows this.
Got you.
And so when it comes in his life and he has to make that decision on what to do or whatever, he's going to have a lot of that already innately in him, that it's okay for him to love a woman because he's seen it. My dad loved my mom, so it's okay. Men are supposed to love women. Whereas the first times I'm trying to love a woman, I'm still figuring out if this is a cool thing to do. Like, should I love her or not? Like, am I being weak because I love her? Whereas my son will never have that question in his head. He will never think that loving a woman is a weakness. He will never, ever think that. That puts him leaps and bounds above the average man who doesn't have a man in their life. Conversely, the greatest tragedy of woman is to witness a woman loving a man without being loved in return. She learns that this is acceptable. This is how life is. Ain't no man gonna be good to me. All men are dogs. All men cheat. All men do like they did to my mom and things like that. So these are the things that they're learning. So even though they're learning that all men are dogs, they're also learning that I have something valuable and I may choose to give it away. Women know better. The average woman, if you got your mom in your life, they know not to give it away. They can choose to give it away because they feel like I have to because everybody else doing it. That's a whole nother podcast on what's going on with music. When I watch these little girls in music, all these little rappers and all that, the girls are worse than the boys these days. It's insane. But that's where our focus is the skill set. Do men have the skill set? And if you don't, this is where you're getting it, right? Go back, watch the other podcasts.
Right.
Follow me, follow Andrea, follow Mental Health as a Lifestyle, share it with friends, have conversations, take a chance and learn something different, about life, about manhood, about how to grow, how to set higher goals and expectations for yourself.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And so this is good because this is directing us into security and insecurity, because that's our topic for today. Because as you would say, secure man. So when a man, so I'll ask you this instead of me just assuming that you would say this, because maybe not. So a man who is secure, right? Who really feels secure, and every single human being, we all have some insecurities.
Yes.
But I'm talking about a secure as secure as you could be.
Grown
Okay.
man.
There you go. Grown man. There you go. Would a secure grown man violate his commitment?
No, because he wouldn't make the commitment if he didn't think. If he didn't think he can hold to it. When you get to that stage, you commit to it, you hold to it like that. I used to fight it all the time before, because I was like, I don't want to be committed. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm enjoying my plethora, my Harlem. I'm enjoying all of it, and I'm having a good time. I don't want to be in a commitment. And so once you understand and have that kind of value, you know what it means. I talked about in an earlier podcast, we talked about love. Like I talked about how early on I started telling women I love them because that's what you were supposed to do. Yeah, they would tell me they love me, and I said, okay, I love you too. Let's go have sex, right? Like just, and then.
And let me say that was so interesting to me. No, I'm gonna take you back there but when you said that was so interesting to me, because I guess for me, I just assume that when I love somebody or I'm putting my energy in, like it's gonna be, they're gonna love me back. Like you have to, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna be loved, right? No,
yes.
but we not.
Not like that. Not like how I'm saying it. Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
So that was so interesting. I thought that was so interesting, and I'm sure men out here, y'all know that, right? But for a woman, even a therapist that sits in front of men, no one has ever said to me that, yeah. Somebody did say that to me. Yes, they did. Somebody did say that to me, that, that they just said it, but I just didn't know that was a norm. Like that was a thing. Oh, yeah. I thought that when you actually do say that you love a woman, you really do love her.
No, we didn't know what it was. We saw it in TV. We saw it in the movies. We didn't see it at home.
Got you.
Because love didn't have an action behind it. Like I said, the greatest tragedy of man is to not have seen a man love a woman when you were a boy. So you don't see the action behind the love, right? So I started at an early age. I would pick my son up and kiss my wife and kiss my son. At an early, I expressed love so he can feel it and see it and know that it's true, be impacted by it, and say this is most importantly, I'm not weak if I love a woman. At 17, he knows that. It took me till I was maybe 27, 30 before I can be like, oh, okay, loving a woman is not me being weak. Like me loving her has nothing to do with anything else, and I don't care what anybody else has to say about it.
No, I got you. And so I'm sorry, I kind of rerouted you when you were talking about security. And so you said there was a time when, even though, and you were secure in your commitment to yourself to not be committed to somebody else. Right. And so, so that's what you were pretty much saying, that you, so, cause that was my question.
Right.
Can you be secure and violate your commitment? And you said no.
No, that don't mean people don't do it every day.
I'm not saying that.
It just means that, right?
Well, what you're saying is they're not secure. Because when I feel secure and I feel safe and I feel confident, we use that word, when I feel confident in who I am, then when I say yes, a yes is a yes. And when I say no, a no is a no. Like
stand on your word. Stand on business. They be saying that today.
Stand on business.
You saw that? I didn't know what it meant at first. I was like, stand on business. Okay,
right.
That's the new thing.
Stand on business.
Yeah, I was saying business. I'm sorry. Can you edit that out? Can you make it business?
It's business.
Business. Make it business. Edit, change it out. Change it from business to business, because that's what it's supposed to be.
Hey, family, come on over here, because I have something for you. Starting off with a go-to guide for keeping your minds healthy and strong. This right here is the Bible to mental health. It's your mental health Bible. The name of it is 6 Pillars to Power Up Your Mind and Make Mental Health a Lifestyle. Everything that you need to know about keeping your minds healthy and strong is in this go-to guide. Where you get it from? Well, you get it from awisebrown.com/shop. But in this go-to guide, honey, in this mental health Bible, you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out the benefits of aromatherapy, and how it can shift your mood. But guess what? You don't have to go any place else to look for your aromatherapy, because your girls got you, okay? You can get some aromatherapy here. This is aromatherapy is in this candle. This is called a slice of happiness. It makes me tingle, like literally makes me tingle. A slice of happiness. This is a cruelty-free candle with no parabens, no formaldehyde, and no known suspected carcinogenics. Now, you know, you go out here and you find these candles that smell good, but are they good for you? Are they good for your brain? Come on now, get real with yourself. Well, this one smells delicious and it's good for you. Made with essential oils. It's a soy candle. Amazing. You can burn it or you can just walk by and smell it. Lord have mercy, it's so good. Okay, so that's your candle, your aromatherapy, which raises the dopamine in your brain. That's your natural feel good neurotransmitters in your brain. All right, y'all. And I'm a part of you. You're a part of me. We are a family. We got hoodies now, and these are unisex hoodies, and they wear well, they wash well, and they feel so good. So you can wear them over your clothes, you know what I'm saying, and look dope, or you can wear them as your clothes with nothing under them, which I like to do often. And when you travel everywhere, I mean, every time I wear them, I'm moving around. People are always asking me whether I'm traveling, going to the supermarket. What's that? Who's that? And I'm like, mental health is a lifestyle. Because see, this is on the back. Okay, they come in white and they come in black. I'm like, join the family. Mental health is a lifestyle podcast. So there you go, family. Don't you ever say that I ain't give you nothing. You get all of these things from awisebrown.com/shop. All right, I got your goods. I got you. You don't have to go anyplace else. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah. No. So, okay. So, yeah. So being insecurity versus security. Right.
Well, so while we're talking about insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
I love this topic. And actually, the topic of insecurity was something that I didn't even understand that word even until I was maybe in my late 30s or something like that. Like, it's
Okay.
not a word that was in my vocabulary.
Okay.
Because I was a man and everything about me is about being secure and being confident in who I am. And that was just my goal, my progress, my plan. I'm going to be a man. I'm a man's man. Like, I've always kind of felt like that about myself. But at the same time, not being in touch with my needs and my emotions and my feelings and things like that. But that made me think I was more of a man because I did not have those feelings. And so now I know, looking back and learning and working with couples and things like that, that is what makes me a man.
Come on now.
Is my ability to be strong and confident in how I feel about my wife, about my kids, about my family and friends. Like I said, I tell my fraternity brothers, my good friends, I love you. It took a lot for me to arrive at hugging another man that I known this dude 20 years. I went to college with him. We lived together in frat house. And now I can't hug him and tell him I love him.
Yeah, no, I get that. So let's go back to when you said as a little boy, because I guess when I was talking about having high regard, when you have high regard for yourself, then you don't violate your commitments. And you were saying that as little girls, we learn early, like, you know, it is imposed upon us to respect ourselves and to hold ourselves in high regard. But you were saying that little boys learn from the community, other little boys, right? And society, music, TV, everything, right? That the more, what you say, if I feel her booty or if I do this, then that's what makes me a man. And so men are just kind of floating around with kind of like a false sense of self, or maybe believing that manhood looks one way, which brings about a false sense of self and a sense of insecurity, because you can't feel secure when you feel like if all of your, I keep saying the same word, but that all of your security, your confidence is violated, validated. All of your security is validated by someone on the outside, like by action of someone on the outside, because insecurity, Like
Yes.
it's an inside job.
Yes.
So in order to fix it, you got to go inside. Like you can't feel enough booties that's gonna make you feel confident and secure as a man.
But I thought
it
I
is
could.
not. But you thought
one
you
more,
could.
one more booty. I'm gonna feel good about me as a man. That's how bad it is.
It's so bad, right? Or how many more cars is going to make me feel secure as a man, safe and secure. Like I got this, I can take this on. Yeah, like how many more cars? How many more women? How many? I don't know. Like, how much more money?
What's gonna shock you is that I can pinpoint the time when I figured that out. It was when, and it wasn't until I had collected so many women that I was like, you know what? This is easy. Maybe this is not the challenge. The challenge is making one woman happy over a lifetime.
Ooh.
Like I had to arrive at that on my own once I got confused with calling Sandra Kim and calling Kim Heather and mixing up their stories and then them all taking me back. I was like, I can do no wrong.
Ooh.
Like when I could call at 2:00 in the morning and they get up and come over, or I come over there, I could do whatever I want. Oh, that's your best friend. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It kind of just happened. I could do whatever I want. You know what? This is easy. Now, and so then I had to tell myself, if I'm gonna be a man's man,
okay,
I can't do the easy. Lying is easy. Ooh. I can lie and acquire. It's so easy. If you're really the man, you got to be able to tell the truth. You got to be able to look a woman in the eye and tell her the truth. I do not want to be in a commitment with you at this time. Right now, I'm dating around, right? So I did that for a while. I would just tell, no, I'm dating 7 women right now. That's what we're doing. Like it's some coming in town, whatever, you know. And that's just what it was. So then after that, I was like, okay, this is not working either. So I got to figure out a challenge for myself as a man. And I figured out that the only real challenge in life is where you will be as a man, as a husband, as a father, you know, in your community. Who are you as a man? And once you arrive at that, now you can identify those insecurities, right? So am I collecting women because that's what I'm supposed to be doing, or does it make me happy? See, it wasn't until I collected all the women that I told myself, like I used to come up with arbitrary rules, like if I go out with her and we hang out 3 times and, you know, nothing happened, then I'm done. You know, or if it don't go down the first date, you tripping. What's wrong with you? Or if it go down before I take you out for a meal, you're free. You know, and so it's all kind of things I would just be coming up with, like, and really all of this is easy. Because if you don't have any goals and you don't have any challenges of making one woman happy, meaning that you choose someone, this person has a profound effect on you, you love her, then you want to work through the issues. Because that's what really love is. Then learning what love is, right? Love means I love you enough to forgive you for your mistakes. That's what love is. When you choose.
Okay. So and when you were, as you would say, when it was real easy to collecting women stuff, did it make you feel secure?
No, I didn't know that, and I wasn't looking for security.
Right.
That's the problem, right?
So you were walking around feeling insecure.
Yes, like feeling
I insecure, need more. Like there's a hole inside of me. Yes. Like that's it. I need more. That's what insecurity looks like. Like I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with myself. That's what insecurity is and feels like. I just don't feel, I'm unsettled. I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure. I don't feel safe and secure with myself. So I'm reaching outside of myself for all of these things, trying to feel safe, trying to feel secure. Yes.
And that's for every
does it
addiction.
Make you feel secure?
You brought up buying cars, for example, you know, or it could be food, it could be purses, it could be, you know, whatever, like I need more, I need more, I need more. And it's empty. Like it's just coming and going through you. Like it's not fulfilling anything.
Yes, it's a bottomless, it's a vase in there. And it's just bottomless, right? And it just does not get filled. Yeah, because those things don't fill you and they don't make you feel secure. However, where security comes from is figuring out who you are, what your goals are, what it is that you want out of life, and accepting that. And so that's whether you are going to be or want to be in a relationship or not. Right. And owning whatever that is, no matter what anybody else says.
When did you know that you wanted to be in a relationship? not marriage. I'm talking about like
a relationship.
Yes, like 13, 18, 20. Like I want to have a boyfriend. When did you know that you just want to be with one person?
Oh gosh, forever, since forever.
See, I no.
Because because for women, right, we have this whole fairy tale. So society pushes the fairy tale, right? The Cinderella fairy tale on us, right? What the Barbie movie came out recently, right? So to be secure, to be a woman, right, then these are the things that society says that you have. You're a Barbie, you find you a Ken, right?
Yep.
Like this is what it is. You have a husband, you get the house with the white picket fence, you have 2 children. I don't know why they say 2.5 children, but you got 2 children, right? Like that is supposedly the dream.
Right.
And so women, we're fed that from very little, and we buy into that. So so a boyfriend, that was winning.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. I got a boyfriend. That's what you were doing, right?
Which does not bring about security either.
Nope.
Because security is only found when you grow.
Yes.
Right? Which comes with maturation, as you said. As you start to mature and you learn life, and then you learn, because you can't learn who you are when you're a child, when you're in adolescence.
You don't know what you like.
Comes in adulthood. That's right. So when you take time to learn who you are, what it is that you like, what your needs are, what your desires, what are your goals, what do you want, what don't you want, and you own that. You own it unapologetically, no matter what anybody else says. And that is what brings about security. It can't be filled from people or things from the outside, because those things are fleeting.
You got to know what you need first.
Yeah. You have to identify it first. That's
funny story. My son's girlfriend, one of his girlfriends or something, at one point, I don't remember what it was or whatever, but he was talking about going to college, and he was like, well, what if we go to different colleges? And the girl was like, why would we go to different colleges? She was dead serious.
Because her security,
like, what are you talking
is
about?
Found in him, right?
Right? Like, why would we do that? And he's just like, yo, I'm going to LSU, Arkansas, I'm visiting these guys. She's like, why are you going to all those colleges? Why we go? We gonna go to the same college? Like, and she was serious. Like, she's dead serious that they. And I'm like, and he comes to me like, Dad, what should I do? And I was like, she don't know that she first of 800 girlfriends. Like, I didn't say that to her, but I was thinking it to her.
Did you see my face? I'm getting ready to say, don't you do that.
I didn't say that to her, but it was just funny. Like, women are taught they're at least taught. I'm not saying they always exercise it, but they're taught to be more secure in who they are and their value. They're going upwards. I'm just saying up for point of having an example.
Okay.
So women are going up in their security, while at the same time, men are being taught they're going down, right? They're going down like get more women, have more sex, cheat on your girlfriend, have more girlfriends. Don't have a girlfriend. Don't marry them. You know what I mean? Like, we're going in opposite directions.
The messages.
Yes, the messages and all that is different from society and family.
Absolutely.
That builds the insecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. But it builds insecurity for both. Honestly,
absolutely.
Right. Because if we use that example of your son's girlfriend, right? That's a very insecure feeling that she's feeling, and she's finding her security in the boy, right? And because society says you, to be a woman, to be a good woman, to be a strong, smart, beautiful, powerful woman, you must get a husband, right?
You must have a boyfriend.
That's right.
Then you must have a husband.
You got to get
engaged.
And
then you got to be able to have kids.
That's right.
Women got to do all of that.
That's right.
You got to be able to have kids.
Right.
I'm sure you get women like that every day, right? They just feel like I have to have kids.
Yeah, but nowadays it's changing. No, there's a lot of women now who are saying, I don't want kids. And I'm like, and I work with them, and they become very secure with that. And they have security with that. This is what it is, unapologetically.
Yes.
I don't want children. And that's good. And I think we're talking to men, you can assert the same thing.
Yes.
But you first have to identify. In order to feel secure in who you are, you have to identify who you are and what it is that you desire and what your needs are. Yes. And stand on them 10 toes down.
On business.
Yes. And don't apologize for it. unapologetically. That is who I am and what I am. And that is what breeds security. That breeds a secure man.
When you are insecure, you lack the understand. Well, the thing I wanted to hit back on what you were talking about, when you have to identify it, but then you have to have the tools. What are you going to do about this once you identify it? Right. So I identified that, you know what, I don't have to have a girlfriend all the time. Right. And that doesn't define who I am.
That's right.
And it doesn't make me less of a man because I don't have a girlfriend. Now, what do you do with that empty space? You know, like you have to, and I don't mean empty space in a bad way, like that's a bad thing. It is just like, I remember a time period when I was single and I was celibate. That's when I was trying to figure out, like, what do I want? I actually did that for a while. Like, what am I doing? Let's stop just all the sex and all that, whatever, and chasing women. And let me spend some time with myself and really figure out what I want and what I need. But what happened to me was then I ended up like getting engaged real fast because I didn't have the tools. I knew what to do. I identified it. Like, not that I knew what to do. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to be by myself because my whole life I've been trained by society that I need to have a girl on my arm, some kind of girl. You know what I mean? Like, meaning like, you know, just whatever, you know, somebody that I can be with that makes me feel like a man. She made me feel like a man. It wasn't that I was a man. She made me feel like a man. She was doing grown people stuff. And so that made me feel like a man.
Gotcha.
And so the tools, right? The tools, what do? Patience. Again, get yourself on this couch with Andrea, right? Do listening to some good podcasts. Don't just take one podcast, listen to a bunch of them so you can figure out where your information comes from. Don't just take it from one. Don't just listen to all me, all Andrea, whatever, Steve Harvey, Michael Bays, and whatever. Like you gotta, and really I think this is the best way to go about anything that you're learning. Is you gotta hear it from multiple sources and pull. Like, I like that. I'm gonna apply that in my life.
That's good.
You know what? I like that over there. That works for me. That I'm more in line with that. And then you build yourself up, and now you have your tool base on what you need to then, like I said earlier about Todd Tribute, now you know how to manage these type of issues.
No, I think that's really, really good. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
More questions? What you got?
No, just one more. I just want to. Well, I know we're just going to end with this one. This was something else that a man said to me after watching the podcast about expressing your feelings, right? So loving yourself and expressing yourself, communicating your needs, right? So he said to me, he said, so Andrea, you know, he said, this was his thought. That's the difference pretty much between being a woman and being a man. He said, if I just go around and just start expressing all my needs and expression and tap into my emotions, because, you know, as I taught you guys earlier, as we taught you, is society has told men from childhood on up, and society meaning your mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties, the church, football team coach, you know, all of the people kind of in your life that's around young boys when you grow up, that you don't need to have feelings. You don't need to have feelings. You know, they won't serve you. Just get up and just go. Be stoic and just show up in the world. You don't need all them feelings. Girls have feelings. Girls supposed to cry. You ain't supposed to cry. We saying lies, lies, lies. Men have feelings too. And I told you guys that men were born just as sensitive as women when you were babies, sensitive. Now, yes, is the male brain different than a female brain? Absolutely. When we talk about gray matter in the brain, when we talk about analytical, you know, versus emotional intelligence, like those things, there is a difference. However, so there are some differences, you know, also that age old thing that y'all were taught, everybody was taught when you were younger, that women mature faster than boys, right? So all of those things. So brains are different. However, emotions and feelings, sensitivity, that's what is the same. So little boys have feelings too. Okay. And so in saying that, he said to me, so how can a man just walk around having all these feelings? He said, how would I get anything accomplished if I just just had all these feelings. I said, well, it's not like you just gonna be one of them things that just, being, that blow up thing that be in front of them stores that just be kind of moving like this all the time. Like, it's like, no, you're still you're still a man, right? You still can be stoic, you still can be and will be analytical. Like, you're not going to lose your manhood. That's right. The lie. See, that's the lie. That's the myth, is that when you tap into your feeling, you're not going to lose yourself. You're going to gain your whole self, because the fact that you are masking emotions and masking feeling is what is going to have you walking through the world numb, cold, hard, distant, and unhappy at some point. I'm telling you. Yeah. So what we're saying is, no, tap into the feelings. Mm-hmm. You are not going to lose your manhood if you tap into your feelings.
All of us have to have emotional control and emotional maturity. I told a man actually last week, I said, hey man, and I don't like this, but I felt his wife is a more dominant, aggressive woman.
Okay, she's
type
alpha.
A personality, alpha personality.
Everybody's saying alpha.
And I said to him, because I know his wife, I said, you come and cry with me. Don't cry in front of her. Because some women are judgmental.
Yeah, that's why they need to come to see me.
And those that need to come see you, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but the bridge I opened to him and said, hey, you come and cry with me.
Oh, that's good.
Like, I'm here for you. Anytime you want to share, if you need to cry, you call me. That's because good. You cry to her, it's going to affect your ability to lead. It makes you insecure because you feel like you might be judged or challenged and things like that. You come and cry with me. I repeated it a bunch of times so he would know and be comfortable that I'm prepared, willing, and able to receive and support and hug and love on him. And you're not less of a man because you cried.
Oh, that's good.
Because you're emotional, right? But it's a fact of life that sometimes you end up with a different person and that person can't handle or manage a man crying. There's a lot of women who cannot handle a man sharing. So it's not sometimes we present it as some men can't cry around other men. That's true. But it's also true that men can't cry around some women.
That's right.
Because the women can't manage it or handle it and things like that.
Yes.
So that's why it's important. In the last podcast, we talked a lot about finding that man that you can communicate with. It's going to be forever important that you do that.
No, that's so good. Or a therapist, because you can come here and cry all the time.
You know that men just come lay on the couch and cry the whole time. And you be like, see you next week. Good cry.
That's right. They do. That's right. It's a safe space. It's a safe space. Oh yeah. And I love that you said that, because yes. So this is what I'm saying to you, men. When I say feel your feelings, and yes, if you want to cry, then you cry. But I'm not saying cry every day, all day, all night, because you're not going to get
woman to do that.
That's right.
So you can't be worse than a woman.
What do you mean worse than a woman?
I mean,
you just slipped. Wait, what
you
happened?
Can't be worse. You can't be crying more and more and
than
more.
A woman.
Well, I'm saying because he said he
more
would be
emotional than a woman.
You can't be more emotional. You crying over everything now. Like you crying because the light changed from green to red.
And I think that was his fear, though. I think that was his fear. His fear was if he opens up that box, then that's what's going to happen. And he's going to be crying more than the woman in his life.
He needs to come and sit with you.
Yeah, because that's not going to happen. But yes, I love that. Go to the space.
That's a fair point.
It is.
It's a good question. Don't get me wrong. It's a great question. And what the real response to that is learn how to manage your emotions by coming and sitting with Andrea, sit on the couch, like tell her how you feel. She'll walk you through how to handle and manage your emotions. And so that's great that you've acknowledged that you may be overly emotional. Now learn what to do with that.
Yeah. But the thing is he's not emotional because he fears that if he opens up that little can of worms, that they all going to come out. But I love what you're saying, Stephen, is find a space to do that, right?
Right.
Go test it out. Find a safe space, right? A therapist office to come and do that and express yourself. But and what happens is once you get it out, you're not going to keep crying and crying and crying, and you're not going to lose your manhood. Like, you are not going to turn into a woman because you express your feelings, because you drill down into what it is that you're feeling and you express it. You're a man. Right. You have the genetics of a man. You're not going to turn into a woman. So don't be afraid of that.
You probably need to flush it out. I mean, you probably need to flush out those years of and times that you didn't cry and you should have.
Yes.
Those times that you were hurt, all that bottled up, let that all out.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Just make sure you're letting it out in a controlled environment.
Yes.
Like we said, here on the couch or with your homeboy, your trusted homeboy that you've known for years and years and years. And then once you get through that, so I understand the fear, right?
Right.
But once you face that fear and you get through it, you will manage it better.
Yes.
Pick up the tools, pay attention, learn how to control your emotions. All of us have our own walks with emotional maturity.
That's right. Men and women. That's right. And we all, right? So you can feel emotions and you can control your reactions to the emotions. But I want you to feel the emotion.
Haven't you had those? I've had those couples where the man was just so emotional that I couldn't talk to him. You know, I've had those relationships where the woman was so emotional I couldn't talk to him. And I would let them kind of run their cycle and get through it. Like it's the hurt and the disappointment and the frustration. Let's take some time. Let that out. That's cool. Like, we got to get that out of your system because it's been bottled up. It's been deep-seated. We talked about resentment earlier. Like, all that builds in you, and you got to purge. I call it purging.
It's good.
You got to purge yourself of all that negative and all that anger. Then we can build from there.
Yes.
So wherever you are, a good therapist will help you build from wherever you are, and you'll end up being okay.
Yes, because it's only going to increase your strength as a man. Trust me, it's only going to build your strength as a man. So I just, and the fact that he asked me that, I'm like, you know what? There's some other men out here who like, I don't want to do that. I ain't feeling my emotions. I ain't hugging no other man. I ain't telling we telling you, we trying to tell you something here. We studied this stuff. We've studied human behavior. Once you release that, it's going to make you a better man, less angry, more loving, more kind, more confident, talking about secure, more secure. You hear me? A better leader. It's going to make you stronger. So, yeah.
Let me add to that, actually.
Go ahead.
Like what I think about is, like, when I was young and we're having a conversation, me and my wife, and it's going the wrong direction because I'm not tapped into my emotions and feelings. I'm just angry, and it is just an argument. Whereas now I'm able to say, hey, what you just said hurt my feelings.
That's right.
I don't have to cry. I don't have to go crazy. I can just say it, and it's real, and she can receive it. Hey, I don't appreciate what you just said.
That's right.
You know, that wasn't cool. You know, I'll just say it. Before I could not say what you just said hurt my feelings.
Well, you didn't even know. You didn't even know it, right? You didn't tap into the feeling. And remember,
you didn't hurt me. You made me angry.
That's the emotion that little boys are taught to express. Screw all the other ones and just come, and just express anger. But that is maladaptive. Now, when you're angry, you can be angry,
right.
But sometimes angry is masking that I'm hurt. And if you keep doing this whole angry thing, then you won't get to the root of the hurt and you can't be healed. So you can't be better.